be going like bum bum bum. Throw it back then rotation. Figure it's in the season. Shine bright as that season. Girl, you know you are a jam 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 jam. Jam 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 jam. Jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Jam 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 jam. Jam 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 jam. Jam 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. We know like me. We know shine bright like royalty. We know stay keep a day guarantee. And why? So kind of your neck is stolen. You been waiting on me to solve it. Solve it for me. And last weekend, you had me thinking, oh, must get in and lift my head up like bum bum bum. Throw it back then rotation. Figure it's in the season. Shine bright.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know the voice. Y'all know the sound. James Bubba Williams, DJ Exclusive, is in the building. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it sounded so right saying that. Good morning, y'all. Welcome again to the Benjamin Dixon channel, y'all. Like it or not, it's starting up next with your girl, Rebecca Azor. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. Like it or not, it's about to go down. Good morning, everybody.
All over again, all over again. Don't you, yeah, you make me feel like we could do. Oh, you make me feel like we could do it. All over again, all over again. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Jam, 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 jam. Sounding like you're wasting every time. Jam, 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 jam.
Good morning, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. Hey, make sure that you go share this stream, man. Share, like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff, man. Want to make sure that we break the algorithm. Good morning, everybody. Roller Dragon Yvette. Good morning, Sweet Dingo 45. Deanna, good morning to you. Spin Cycle Dragon. Princess Chi. Good morning. Summer Lynn, good morning to you. LB, Brian West, what's going on? Kevin Popbridge, good morning. B, good morning, B. Love you, mean it. Boondocks Dragon, good morning. Julius Dennis, Jason Goodcraft. What's going on? Jonathan Middleton, good morning to you. Boondocks Dragon. Brother Latifah's in the building. Infinite Content, good morning to y'all. Good morning, everybody. Like it or not, it's about to go down. Good morning, y'all.
It may hurt for a while. Let's slow it down, slow it down. I can see behind that broken smile. Nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread.
Boondocks love you too.
Smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread. You're nice, like cocoa, you're nice, like cocoa bread, like cocoa bread. Oh, you're nice, like cocoa, you're nice.
Shout out Tiger in the chat. What's going on, Tiger? Good morning to you.
Ooh, driving day, watch a movie. Right by your side on duty. Not too much or too sweet. Ooh, passion from your truly. Let me know how you feel. Hope I'm not in too deep. Biwa, Phoebe, Dija, Fever. Won't be alone forever. Get through the storm together. Girl, make some room. I know you still, you're nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread. You're nice, sweet, smooth, like cocoa bread, cocoa bread. You're nice, like cocoa, you're nice.
Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, all right? We get started here momentarily. Here's a joke for y'all this morning, though. So last night, before I woke up this morning, I was dreaming about having diarrhea, and then I woke up. That's when shit got real.
I need all the ways.
Y'all know y'all love me. Leave me alone. Brian, you know you love me. Leave me alone, Brian.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep.
Andy from Ohio, good morning. Juanita, good morning to you. Leon, that's what's going on.
The roads risen through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. Plus a family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous because I'm the pilot in the cockpit. No stopping in the house. And woo. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Woo. Watch how I set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch how I get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's. I gotta get it. No call and quits. Yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move. You might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move. You might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move. You might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move. You might get knocked out. Knocked out.
So, did y'all hear about the Italian chef with the terminal illness? Oh, it was so sad. It's so sad. He passed away. Couldn't only do so much. Now he's just a piece of history. Pizza history? Pizza history? No? Nobody? Okay, good.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger.
Shout out to our sister in the building, Stigio Stilettos. What's going on, Stigi? Good to see you. Love you, mean it. Hope you've been doing good. Mitchell Harris, good morning. Like, yes, you're absolutely right. You could say he ran out of time.
I might just go by a Benz. I might just blow my advance. Whoa, I did it all for the feeling. Alive, but I'm making a killing.
Stitches, I miss you. Melanie Dennis, good morning.
Pay me in respect. Once I do it big, what's to follow is a check. I need 100 bags, nothing more, nothing less. And the ops feel away, cause I'm next. I'm a threat. Oh yeah. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word.
Ew.
It's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. It's a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it. It's a promise and a threat. I've been feeling spectacular. Flow so sick, it's hazardous.
All right, y'all. No more delaying. It is time to get this thing started. Y'all know what time it is. The queen is in the building. But of course, before we get started, I'm a fisherman and I'm dating a mermaid. Mermaid. I met her online. No, don't get it? Man, y'all go to hell. Anyway, y'all like it or not, it's about to go down. Good morning, everybody. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for like it or not. We're Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for like it or not. We're Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show like it or not. Rebecca Azure is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics scheming, trying to find the meaning of life. And while the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, then I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not with Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. It's time for Like It or Not with Rebecca Azure. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like It or Not starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Everybody can't what you can look like.
Good morning. Listen, Ben, I think the Lord trying to tell you something.
What's going on over here on my side?
The morning time looks better on you.
Oh,
So
Ben came in looking like
it's I'm a morning person, so you know you might be right.
I can't tell.
Because evening
Let me
time.
get my morning glow on too, because it's not fair. There we go, right here.
okay, ain't Ben glowing. That's what it is.
Okay.
I got it, Becca. It's the glare from the head. That's what it is.
It is, but it's
Yeah.
showing.
Wait a
us-
minute.
it's-
Wait a minute.
it's
Do I need to powder my forehead or something? What's going on? Good morning, then.
Nah,
no,
bro,
you-
they ain't
it's-
gonna take it yet.
You know
It's
me.
good.
I like dewy skin. I like dewy skin more than I like matted. I like a little bit
But I
of glow. I
mean-
think that's what our skin is supposed to
That
have.
head is shining. He put my head to shame. And it's because my
Meanwhile,
light is
as
not
you
directly
say his head is
above.
shiny, you were frozen.
You know what? I do have a light just like
Was.
dead smack above me, so
was.
it looks like the Shekinah glory, but it's just a light. That's
The Shekinah glory. That's all right. That's all right. Well, good morning, everybody. I mean, geez, Ben, how are you? How are you? Well, we didn't even do the intro. My God, because it's a morning. It's a Saturday morning. It's a Saturday morning. And so, what is it? Good. What is it? Good morning.
Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
and not care who doesn't like it. There we go.
Oh, see, there's a little bit more energy. We weren't together all the way, but there's a little bit more energy because it is the morning time. But welcome, everybody. Everybody who's tuning in right now, wondering what the hell is going on. We are doing a Saturday morning show because we didn't have them for you yesterday night. A couple of technical difficulties. That's what Black folks like to say. Technical difficulties. Look, something was going on. Look, you don't even know what the business was, but technical difficulties. But we were here with you this morning on Saturday. Ben agreed, and I was like, "What? Ben agreed." Just like that. What? Ben agreed. Just like that. And I was like, Ben agreed, and I'm like, wow. Okay, great. So we're gonna do it this morning. I'm happy to see all of you guys here with us. Everyone who's watching. My Twitter was. My Twitter this morning, as we were sitting here, a lot of my stuff was hacked this morning. So
Really?
it was, yeah. So I had to go through changing passwords.
Wow.
Couldn't get into Google Doc. Couldn't do a lot of different things, and so I was on the hack side of things. But I was trying to get it together as we were on here. But
did they post anything, or they just got into
that's
it?
what I was like. I don't know. I don't have any crazy DMs. I don't have anything like that. But
You went to your main page to see if you like anything was posted like while you were sleeping. They got a whole picture with a dude on there. Like, who's this man?
I was trying to see what was going on, and it wouldn't let me in mobily. But I've been doing it on the computer, but that's why I haven't been able to get into the docs and stuff. So I've been trying to change my passwords. But you got that one password that you remember the day you changed the password. You ran out of passwords in yourself. You ran out of nieces and nephews. You ran out of kids to name it after. You named
Jesus.
And it is ridiculous.
Stop telling all of us.
Your password secrets, girl.
Come on.
Well, it ain't that no more. Now I gotta start using X's.
Oh, I'm thinking she was talking about the
Like
letter
the
X.
letter X,
She
man.
was talking about ex-boyfriend.
No, real memorable stuff.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Anywho,
indeed.
how
Wow.
has you guys' week been? Mine has been very eventful, but how has you guys' week been? I want to start with you, Ben.
No, it's been pretty eventful. So I've got actually a story that we'll cover later on that I've been dealing with since now. Last week, y'all announced that I was in Jacksonville. I might as well just tell everybody. Yeah, so I've been super busy in
But
Jacksonville
you
this
trying to
week.
hide from who?
I'm
People,
a,
people
listen.
know where you at.
Yeah, I was trying.
Not literally, but
Yeah.
they know you in Florida, man. Like
Yeah.
you're a Florida man.
I'm a Florida
Okay?
man.
Yeah,
Once
you're a
again.
Florida man.
I'm back
Yeah.
home. It's
Florida,
been
FLAWDA, Florida.
Yep, Florida. Florida
and,
boy.
and it feels like I've been a Florida man this week with all the craziness going on around here. But it's been a great week so far. A lot of stories nationally that I've been covering on the podcast, Rebecca. And anyway, but I do like this Saturday morning feel. It's a vibe.
Okay, it's a vibe. It gives me more energy. It's giving me like when Bubba plays, it's time for like it or not. It matches the morning. So we can talk about that later. But I just wanted to show you how good you look in the morning, how good you feel in the morning, the energy that exudes through, what Bubba said is a shiny head, but you call Shekinah glory. It's there. Now,
It's the light.
Bubba. How is your weekend before we get to the how was your weekend before we get to these stories, honey?
It's been a long work week. Then it was compacted by jury duty yesterday on a Friday while Janet Jackson and Taylor Swift are in town.
Yes.
And so I didn't leave jury duty yesterday till like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I'm glad that we moved the show. Yeah, I mean, I don't care about 9 a.m. on a Saturday, but it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, jury duty, and then they moved my surgery to May 8th instead of May 3rd. So at least I can smoke through the weekend. So that's a good thing. But yeah. But May 8th is the surgery and the jury duty case. Priorities. In the jury duty case, Lord Jesus. That's all I can say about the jury duty without saying too much is very high profile.
You know what they're doing? You know what they're doing for the people, especially in Atlanta, who speak and who are part of the jury. Baby, they're gonna hold you in contempt.
Exactly.
They're gonna put you behind the bizarres. You ain't gonna be the one to write a paper like that girl in the Young Thug case.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. And so with that being said, all,
moving on.
we're gonna move on. But I just want to share with you guys that one of Young Thug's lawyers or attorneys told the judge that he was capped. This was in real time. Really? He literally said, "So, judge, let me. You said that I did this and that," and the judge was like, "No, I didn't say that." We don't need to talk about that right now. He's gonna say, "Well, you did say that X, Y, and Z, and it was capped." I said, "What kind of
this was his attorney?
Where did he get this representation from?" But it was so funny. God. He spoke, and he said what he needed to say elegantly, however he needed to say it as an attorney, and they say, "But that was capped." I said, "Wow." Wow.
Which one was that, Rebecca? I'm trying to remember which lawyer that was.
A black younger man. I don't know.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah.
Was,
they all their attorneys were on that side. I'm just like, boy, y'all been going through it.
Crazy. Anywho, going through it, but Ben, you're gonna go through it today. This is gonna be you're leading the show today. I've been hacked. I've been his act. Okay. So, and I will I got other stories I need to throw in there, but please let us know what you've been talking about on your podcast.
All right, we'll kick it off. This is a good place to kick it off. So this past week in Duval County, and full disclosure, I used to be a teacher in Duval County. So we left for many years and now we're back in Duval. And as soon as I get back, I hear about the superintendent, who is a Black woman, who is the superintendent of the year for the state of Florida. She's also the top 10 finalist for superintendent of the year across the entire nation. Her name is Dr. Diana Green. She has improved the graduation rate in Duval County to some 91%. And as a person who taught dropout prevention in Duval County, I can't tell you how magnificent that improvement is. She has come under attack by Ron DeSantis's administration, the Florida Department of Education, and organizations like Moms for Liberty that I have been covering for some time on the podcast. And so when I found out what was going on, and also been, organizing with pastors down here. So I found out from a group of pastors that I organize with on a regular basis. And so we all got together, and I want to give a shout out to those pastors because they really are about that life. We all went down to the school board and spoke and did different things. But there's a couple of pieces to this story that I want to put on the record to make sure everyone understands what's going on. First and foremost, Ron DeSantis is executing an agenda in the state of Florida, punishing any school superintendent who dared to defy his mask mandate banning. He banned the ability of schools to have masks during the pandemic. Superintendents said, no, we're going to do what's best for our local schools, for our students, and they had them masked. Out of 12 superintendents that had their children masked, and they defied Ron DeSantis' orders, only 5 of them are left. He has gotten rid of 7 out of the 12, and now they're targeting the Duval superintendent, Dr. Diana Green. I want to play a clip from the local NPR station that actually just confirms what's going on in terms of how it's being, the superintendents across the entire state are being targeted. So let's play that first clip.
Governor's ban on mask mandates in schools. Only 5 still have superintendents. And this week, we learned that Leon County Superintendent Rocky Hanna, that's Tallahassee, is under investigation by the state. According to Hanna, he believes he's being persecuted because he stood up to the DeSantis administration on masking policy during the pandemic. The state says that that they are looking into allegations in that. So that's over in Tallahassee.
I think there's one.
So again, over in Tallahassee, they're currently targeting a superintendent there. They're targeting a superintendent in Duval County, which is right across the way, about 3 hours. And then they have been targeting all across the state of Florida, any superintendent who dared to defy putting fingers Ron DeSantis. So this is a personal agenda. Now, there's another group that's involved in this, and that's Moms for Liberty. They're trying to make this seem as though they're trying to protect the kids of Duval County. Now, here's what's going on. Just a few more details. There was a teacher who was at a fine arts school called Douglas Anderson in Duval County. That teacher has been getting away for years with allegations of inappropriate behavior towards children. And it wasn't until Dr. Diana Green's administration that he finally was identified and fired, and now he's under criminal investigation facing charges. So when Dr. Green's administration came in, they identified this teacher and fired him. Well, apparently that wasn't good enough for Ron DeSantis or Moms for Liberty, because they're trying to fire her because she allegedly did not file some paperwork with one specific system that honestly is not her responsibility to file that paperwork. And I want to play this next clip of another person who spoke at the school board meeting, which really outlines what's going on. Here is a Black woman superintendent who is being held responsible for what 3 previous white men superintendents did nothing about. This guy has had 8 allegations that existed before she got here with 3 white men superintendents. But now she has fired this teacher. He is under investigation, but now they are coming after her to try to fire her and hold her accountable for something that she fixed. Play the next clip for me, Josh.
This teacher went through 8 investigations before this investigation landed him in jail. And each of those 8 investigations were done under 3 white male superintendents. And then when the first Black female superintendent showed up, he ended up in jail. And before we get rid of this woman, I'd like to have the answers to all those questions so that every person in this community can understand why exactly it is that she is being targeted so heavily. She is an excellent administrator with a proven track record for solving real problems in our district. And if you let her, she'll solve this one too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
I was there when she spoke, and I was honestly, I wanted to stand up and applaud because I was so happy to see a white woman who stood up and called it for what it was.
She's white.
Yeah.
Look, there's a little drop in there, but
Rebecca Azor.
Okay.
Go ahead. We'll stop there. There's more clips, but we'll
Okay.
jump in there. All right.
Yeah. So just to break it up a little bit. So basically, this is something that it's not uncommon what we're seeing here, especially in Florida, under the ruling of the dictatorship of Ron DeSantis in every damn thing, especially in education. We know here, what I'm seeing here is she did something. She stood for something. Ron DeSantis didn't like the pushback. So they found something against her, especially as a Black woman. And so they found something against her so small, so minute, so that they can show her never to mess with the king, right? The king is Ron DeSantis, or everybody who's associated with him. And if anybody, if any one of his friends or his colleagues feel threatened, they're gonna go and let him know, hey, look what she did, look what this woman did. Okay, we're gonna get her out of here. So they, like you said, they're gonna find the smallest thing after her doing the right thing and getting somebody out of there. They're gonna go say, well, your right thing was actually not processed correctly. So now we need they're gonna find something to get what we saw in Tennessee with those state legislators, right? They looked for the smallest thing, something that made sense, and said, because you did that, we'll get your behinds out of here. And that's what we're seeing here, I guess, with this educational leader. And that's not fair. It's not fair. And we need more allies like her to be in the room. This woman here who got one drop in them. We need more allies like this to be in the room, white allies, where we don't got to tell them what to do. They know they need to stand up and speak about what happened, which is exactly what we saw in the Tennessee state legislators with that one white woman who had to come up and say, y'all know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going on here.
That's right. Yeah. So the real agenda came out immediately. Shortly after that last speaker, there was another woman who came up with a group called Citizens for Freedom, or some kind of innocuous sounding name. She's not a part of Moms for Liberty, but Moms for Liberty is a group that has been targeting superintendents all over the country, specifically Black superintendents. I don't know if you recall the story out of Berkeley, South Carolina, where Moms for Liberty got rid of the first Black superintendent that they had ever elected. We have that clip and we'll play it later. But I want to play this next clip of someone who spoke just before I got a chance to speak, and you could hear what their real agenda is. It's not about even the situation that happened at the school here. It's not about the mask. It's about an agenda of, honestly, white women who are using their white woman tears to go around the country getting Black superintendents fired on behalf of the conservative movement in the name of grooming. Play the next clip on.
About grooming. Teachers are allowed to encourage and reward for being safe. Safe when I was growing up meant safe from harm. But this doesn't mean that in this case. What this is safe to talk to your teacher about sex, sexuality, pansexual, phrasexual, LGBTQAA+. I'm sorry if I missed a few on that there. But we have to keep pushing forward with education, not sexual indoctrination. We have clubs after school that teach phrasexual, pansexual. We don't need these clubs in Duval. What we do need, if we really want to be fair, is faith-based organizations creating clubs that students can come and say, you know, I'm really confused about my sexuality. What does God have to say about that? Because what Duval is saying about it is we better make sure we stop the bullying.
So too bad Duval is trying to stop the bullying, right? Too bad. James, I knew you would
James, Bubba Williams, go ahead. I don't know. I just quick chime in while then continue the conversation.
Because this it's these white people, these white women have lost their damn mind.
White
women. White, like a big loogie white. You know
yeah, right up in there. That's the one you got to get.
You got to get from the back of your throat.
That's the one in the F-150. She's giving it.
Jesus.
That's the F-150.
Did you say she's giving F-150?
She's giving me F-150. White.
I just don't know what to think about that. That's what she's giving.
In the LGBT AA 5-6.
Well, she did that. I feel like she did that on purpose.
I'm sorry.
She did that on purpose.
I feel like she did it
double A.
straight up. That's why I call her what she was, because she did that on purpose. Helpful.
And I felt I was so glad. I accidentally stepped in front of her because I thought I was next, but she was next. And then I was so glad that she got a chance to go before me because I wanted people to really see what was really going on. It's people like this, like her, who are traveling around this country, attacking superintendents, trying to get everyone scared of groomers when we all know where the real groomers are. The real groomers probably go to her church. Let's just keep it 100. The real groomers probably are her priests or any of these pastors, like at First Baptist in Jacksonville. They had allegations there, but they had enough time to come out and make people sign documents saying that they don't support any other type of sexuality, but biblical sexuality. So they have all these little games that they're playing in Jacksonville, trying to target the LGBTQIA community. And so I got a chance to speak. So since everybody knows I'm in Jacksonville, just might as well play it now.
Before we play that, I have a question. I'm just like, don't these people realize that all they're doing is grooming as well too?
They don't care. They know what they're doing. They know.
Quite white.
They use this white grooming on my kids to try to make them trying to put your beliefs on my children. That's not how the world works. No, hell no.
That's exactly what they're going for, James. I'm glad you said that, man. Their goal is to be able to force their specific religious beliefs on your children, on our children. And me, they call themselves Christian. I'm a Christian. They will absolutely try to destroy even my version of Christianity, what I believe, because it doesn't line up with them. So when they say grooming, make sure you understand exactly what you just said, James, is so true. They have their own way of grooming people, and it's grooming them into
their
bigotry,
way or the highway,
and racism. Absolutely,
their way or the highway. And even although that their belief, the way that they believe what they believe doesn't match what they say they believe.
That's right.
That makes sense.
That's right.
It's only their way, but no matter what, it'll be their way.
And at the end of the day, it ain't Christianity, it's white supremacy. That's what they have. That's what they're grooming this generation with, is white supremacy. So anyway, this is again, so we came out, I went out with a group of pastors, and we went there to speak on behalf of Dr. Green, but I wanted to get more specific, and I wanted to make sure people understand what we're dealing with. It's not just Duval County, it's happening across the country, and it's happening specifically in Florida, like you said, Rebecca, because Ron DeSantis wants to be a dictator. So here are the few words that I had a chance to say. Here's because there's a coordinated effort across this country, without question, targeting superintendents, particularly black superintendents, by organizations that have some representatives here today. I can't call names, so I won't. And as you begin this investigation into the distinguished career of the superintendent, I would encourage you to do additional investigation to see the hand behind what's going on. This is a political witch hunt, without question. And as I teach my children, if there's a hunt going on, you need to find out who's doing the hunting. Who are the people who are encouraging this? Who are the people who are the invisible hand that is trying to make this happen? Because I guarantee you, you will find that they are in lockstep with an administration that has declared a war on public schools, an administration, a governor who has declared war on blackness in the form of saying woke, a governor who has declared war on the most marginalized in our community, including the LGBTQIA community. And I say that as a man of faith, a man who stands on morality. We will not allow this division to come in any further, and this is a place where we are going to take a stand. So rest assured, we do have an idea of who's behind this. We do have an idea whose fingerprints are all over this. Even though they may have pudding on those fingerprints, we do understand exactly what's going on, and we are here to stand not only with the superintendent, but to let people know we're not going to sit down and take this lightly. We know the organizations, we know them, and we're going to stand against them. So,
Brother Benjamin Malik Ali Shabazz Abdul Shakur. My gosh, brother. Yes.
Shabazz Franklin.
Malcolm and Martin up there. Yes, Brother Ben.
Mr. King. King is rolling up in his grave, but not in a bad way.
But not in a bad way. Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. No, what you said there was with all of the great wording as usual,
yes,
and all of the shade included.
Shut that shit down.
Yeah.
I was tired of
them. You use their terminology against them or with them to let them know that witch hunt that you guys are talking about is the one that you guys are putting together against, and it makes no sense. It's imaginary, right? And the people who are the problem here, how about you check yourselves? How about you challenge yourselves and do X, Y, and Z? Right. And I would have loved to see the camera pan and give us a view of the people in the room and see what it looks like.
Well, I got
Benjamin, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you. But no, go ahead and finish. I'll hold my question.
No. I
until-
was going to say I had a view of the Moms for Liberty candidate that Ron DeSantis endorsed and is sitting on the school board right now, who I'm quite sure, without question, in my opinion, has something to do with this as well. But I had a chance to look her dead in the eye. So even though the cameras didn't pan, they know who we're talking about, but they know the organizations we're talking about, and nobody's stupid. They thought no one was going to show up, but a lot of people showed up. So not just black folks, a lot of white folks showed up in support because they're tired of this mess in Duval too.
Brother Ben, I'm just gonna put it out there, man. You should go ahead and run for somebody's office down there.
No, I like to, praise the Lord. I like to cuss too much.
Ben, do you not
But
see
that-
who the new leader
Ben, what? F all of that. Have you seen these?
1993?
I almost said it. Do you see these motherfuckers?
Well,
bro, you will be gold in this landscape.
Also, I'm more prone to be. We need a lot more than me, and I'm really hoping to push more people there and get more people into operations. Like we got to hit I don't want to go to office and get constrained. We got work to do, and there's a lot of work that I can do outside of office. So we could find people who are great representatives and who can do a good job and send them to office. But people like me, we need to be in the background, making sure that we have a full-fledged operation going across this country. So that's really where I want to focus.
Yeah, man. Whatever you decide, brother, I'm with you. I'll move to Florida if I need to support, dog. Because
Wildcats,
yeah, man. You just keep doing the work, brother, man. That shit was awesome. I appreciate you. Just to hear that you spoke at that. Yeah.
That's been, and I'm happy to see that you're in the streets. That means that we back outside. Back
outside. Did you see me without a mask on? Now the first
mask.
Bro, listen. I'm operating in radical faith and trust right now. Because listen, the pandemic is still going on. Matter of fact, I had my mask on during the entire program.
But when you got to give a good word.
Yeah, when I went up there, I had it on and I wiped down. I had Lysol and I wiped down the podium and everything. And then I took my mask off. But the masking, I wore it because I want people to understand, like, this is where it started. This is Ron DeSantis, who, remember when Ron DeSantis attacked those children who were standing on stage with him wearing a mask, right? This is what it's really rooted in. Ron DeSantis is so petty. He's such a small man that he has to execute an agenda to get rid of anybody who tried to protect our kids wearing masks. So we're back outside, Rebecca, but you know, I've been praying. I'm like, Lord, keep this COVID
I understand
away from me, Jesus.
I get it.
Look, that's how I felt yesterday in that damn jury room with all these damn people. It's like 400 of us. There was no social distancing, and finally we get in the area where we got to wait at. Okay, put your mask on. I've been around you. Now you want me to? Okay, you know what? I don't want to be held in contempt. I'm gonna put my mask on.
Okay, so speaking about being back outside, though, Ben, Ben, you done? Because
Yes, hey, I just want to give you,
and you did, and I appreciate that, because a lot of people don't know what's going on and what really the scope of things with Ron DeSantis in Florida. And this is just one itty bitty portion of it. This is in the educational system with a superintendent who happens to be black, who's being attacked by Ron DeSantis for deciding for actually having the gall, the audacity, to push back. And so what they do is what they've always done. They try to put fear in you. They try to scare you. They try to scare you from ever trying again to make sure that their law stays law. Ron DeSantis is trying to do that, dictate everything that goes on so that it can be his orders or no orders at all. Right. And that's what we're seeing. So
yeah, and my thing is, like, what will it take for America and everybody to see that this man is just full of shit? I don't get it. Especially because I just saw, was it yesterday, day before yesterday, a presidential campaign commercial for him.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did.
So
and I'm thinking, I was hoping.
Who was it endorsed by?
What? It wasn't by him. I can't remember the name of the group. It was like something Freedom or something like that. Yes, bro. And
you gotta put
I'm just like,
Whites for Freedom in
what
Florida.
Is this?
Right. Let me see. Whites for Freedom in Florida.
You sure it wasn't the Sons of the Confederacy?
The WFFF, not the WKKK. We want to make it nice. Whites for Freedom in Florida. We're gonna do the WFFF. Okay. FFF.
In the big trucks, Rebecca.
The W. The WFFF.
WFF. F, Rebecca.
WFFF. Now, they
W.
like to call us KKK. We're not KKK. We are the Whites for Freedom in Florida. Okay.
Whites for Freedom in Florida.
Okay. The WFFF.
Not the KKK, not to be confused by those
Not to
ones
be
that wear the white
Tell
hoods.
'em, Bubba,
We don't
the
wear no
W.
hoods. We're just out here in public. We don't gotta wear no goddamn mask.
Mhm.
That
Ron
goddamn got me.
DeSantis, I know his last name.
The only mask they gonna put on.
Ron DeSantis, whatever his name is, he's one of us. They're whites from Hispanic areas or Italian or
There you go.
German. I don't really know, but they're one of us.
Me and Ron go fishing every day on the golf course. He's fighting for our liberty in that goddamn Disney World. I hope they get the hell kicked out of Florida.
WFFF.
Look us up. www.wfff.com.
This message was brought to you by the WFFF, Ron DeSantis for president. Not to be confused with the KKK. Listen, outside is crazy. We have a member, an inductee of the KKK who has been kicked outside. And I remember when this man on CNN laughed when Omarosa was kicked outside. Now both of them are outside. Those people I'm talking about are Don Lemon and none other than Fox's Tucker Carlson. CNN's Don Lemon and Fox News's Tucker Carlson. We've heard a lot about them over the years. CNN, Don Lemon has become the face of the black face, the diversity and inclusion pick for CNN. No, love him. When I was younger, we had to study him. I remember when I worked in New York and I seen him on a skateboard skating down the street in a mohawk. Couldn't believe it, right? I was like, wow, Don Lemon is one of us. So beautiful, so great to see. And actually seeing him over the years get to have an anchor position where he can just come on, say a few things, talk his stuff, check a few people sometimes, be drunk on January 1st. It was a good time,
I used to like seeing him get drunk on.
Yeah, it was a nice
him
black,
and
and then him being gay, a gay black man.
And what was the other white guy?
Andy Cohen?
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. They were getting drunk. Yeah.
It ain't Andy's on Bravo. Andy was with
Andy's
them.
on Bravo.
He was in there in spirit.
On that day.
Yeah.
Wait. I just thought about it. That's what happened when you get all the gays together.
I would say you get
Don, Anderson Cooper, and
they were all on stage at the same time.
It's a good time. So, but no, it's a very good time too. But they tried to not only did they try to strip him from having a good time, not only did they decided to take him out. Now, this was about 5 days ago, right? So CNN fired long time, and we're gonna do both. I want you guys to focus on both of the firings, right? So CNN fired longtime host Don Lemon on Monday following his short and disastrous run as a morning show host. Who wrote this?
Short and disastrous? Jesus.
Oh God, look. Wow.
You might want to check where you.
Wait a minute.
This is straight from the AP. White man David Boder. Listen. Anywho, this has happened. He parted ways. What happened was Lemon went on to say online that he wasn't aware. He said, after 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have the decency to tell me directly. This is what he said in his Twitter statement. And CNN then came and said, hey, we wanted to talk to Don Lemon right before, but he chose not to, show up for the meeting or the conversation that we wanted to have. So here we go. This is going to be this next clip that I'm playing for you is allegedly what caused Don Lemon's firing. Let's take a look.
I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to Black Americans, to say that Black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was
Black
part
people,
of what secured
hang on,
that
please.
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on 1 second. So to say that Black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They
That's
were
a
not
fact.
secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to
And you know
happen
how they
after the
got
Civil
it?
War
They got their
and
Second Amendment
Reconstruction.
rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, Don,
The NRA did not play a big role
absolutely,
in
they
that.
trained
That
black Americans
is
how
a
to use
lie.
firearms.
That's a lie.
But
That's not. The
it's
NRA did not play a big role in
This
that.
is just historical fact. But
It's
Don,
not historical fact.
The part that I
Just
find
because you say it's historical
the
fact.
part that
it's
I
not
find
historical fact.
insulting is when you say today black Americans don't have those rights after we have
The
gone
fact
through
that I find
civil rights
insulting
revolution
is
in this
that
country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I
know
have a
the
different
freedoms
point
that
of view.
black and white that black people don't have in this country, and that black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without
shouldn't
me
express your
regarding
views,
you as a
but I
black
think it's
man,
insulting that
but
you're
me
sitting
regarding you
here,
as a fellow citizen.
that you're
That's what I
sitting
think we should
here,
see.
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me.
Not
Whatever
really
ethnicity
taking
I
her
am,
phone.
It's like
She
to be
said,
black
"Get me out of
whatever
here."
ethnicity I am, I'll tell
sorry.
you what I am. I'm an Indian
Sorry.
American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
the
but I think
content
you should,
of the
if you're gonna
ideas.
do it, you should do it in an honest way and in a
I
fair
think-
way. And what you're doing is not an honest and fair way. Okay?
With-
But we
with-
appreciate you coming on.
with
Thank
due
you for
respect,
that.
Don, I look forward to
Thank you very
continuing
much.
that
I appreciate
conversation.
it. We'll
Thank
continue
you.
the conversation.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
So when you see that clip originally going around, you don't see the ending and how it ends and things like that. They have that clip of when it's getting real hot, right? And that's what you do. They are sitting at a desk, they're having a conversation, usually in these spaces on CNN. I know it's a morning show they were having, but usually in these spaces on CNN, that gives the people freedom to have these conversations and your debates. And so this is Vivek Ramaswamy. I hope it's Vivek Ramaswamy, and he is the GOP presidential candidate, right? And so I think right now, talking points and protecting the right is something that we can agree on. That's happening in these spaces, right? He gets on. This conversation happens. This is not the worst thing that Don Lemon has done. If this is the reason for his firing, this isn't the worst, and it's not. To me, it's not even a bad thing. He's doing his job.
That's right.
He's doing his job. But it's not the worst thing. He has been on here and he's read people for filth and then cut the interview off and moved on to the next thing. This is Don Lemon, and we see the power that he has in CNN to the point where he can tell the people, "You talking in my ear? I'm trying to have a conversation. I can't even think." So hush. So Don Lemon has power at CNN. He's been there that long. So if this is the moment that caused him firing, it lets me know all that I need to know about where CNN is headed and what they're trying to do.
Absolutely, Rebecca.
And that's where I'm at with it. What do you guys think?
Go ahead,
Well, I'll say that Don Lemon, he was speaking straight facts against him. But honestly, if you look at the other news anchor who picked up their phone is texting somebody, that's the reason why he lost the job. She's like, I felt so uncomfortable.
That's
She used the
alleged.
white tears. I mean, what it is.
So that's your theory?
I don't know what
That's
it is,
your
y'all.
theory?
That's my theory. She used the white tears. She picked up that phone real quick and said, I feel uncomfortable with Don. I don't like this black and white talk. And yeah, he needs to be fired.
Because I feel like, Vivek literally stated that we should not be judged by our characters, but by the content of our skin. Didn't Martin Luther King say that or somebody? Meanwhile, Don Lemon is like,
Zip it.
Vivek, you wrong, baby. And that's where we at with it. You can't speak on a black person's issues right here and try to say black, brown, white, purple, blue, green. No, Vivek, you are not Vivek Luther King, baby.
And then for him to say that blacks should be good because we had our civil rights shit, basically is what you just saying?
I couldn't believe it.
Bro, I wanted to jump.
Yeah.
When we let other people lead, Don was the right man for the job.
He was.
He was the right man for the job. Let's really talk about it. If we let other people own our stories, sit on these tables, like at Fox News, and create a rhetoric and a narrative and put out misinformation, we would have a conversation where Vivek is literally giving misinformation. This is supposed to be a GOP candidate, presidential candidate, giving misinformation, saying that Black people should be happy because of a excuse me, sir Vivek, who your history, baby. Your history, honey. Like, don't even play that. Folks ain't did nothing for you. But let's circle back to how black folks, because of black folks, this is. Because of black folks, you are. Because of black folks, we are. In America, the history is too rich for you to try to rewrite it.
It's too fresh in our memories.
It's too fresh. The blood is still on the hands of the lady that picked up her phone.
Come on. Hey, I thought you were talking about the Barnett
lady next to him. The blood is still on her hands. You know, from generations. It ain't that far.
I thought you were talking about the lady who just died, who helped get Emmett Till.
Carolyn Bryant, baby.
Yeah.
Emmett Till's murderer.
Listen, he was not only wrong, he was the complete opposite of what actually happened. Does everyone recall when the Black Panthers were using their Second Amendment right to defend themselves against police brutality? Lo and behold, the NRA, along with Governor Ronald Reagan at the time, he was governor of California at the time, they ensured that they worked against the rights of the Black Panthers to carry their weapons the way that they carried them before the NRA got involved. So the NRA specifically got involved in the civil rights movement to stop the Black Panthers from being able to exercise their Second Amendment rights. So not only was he wrong, but he was like just dead as wrong. He's just complete opposite of what happened. But this is what they do. This is what Republicans do. We are living in a post-truth reality. They can go on national television and say something that is just objectively false, but get away with it and expect no one to call them on it. And just as a second note, this guy is a joke. Vivek, he is a complete joke. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to get more than like 2% of the Republican vote because Republicans don't like brown people, my guy. I'm sorry, but you are the wrong color to move up in the Republican Party. He's like a brown. He looks like a brown Jimmy Neutron.
Right next to us, honey. You got the brown and the black, baby. You a little towards that way. So
him and Don up there looking like brothers.
Okay? You all, look at him. Look at him. So honestly, he's telling him something like, "Hey, listen, if you are gonna sit here and act like I can't sit here with you, my brother, but we can have a." And I like how Brown. That's trying to come out Brown. I like how Don Lemon ended it, and that's Don Lemon does not play. The show would not be ended like that. But it's a morning. Look at her. Look at him. Look at her. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, Rebecca. A few minutes ago, she did the white women thing where they put their hand behind their neck. You know
because she had nothing to say about the issue that they were talking about. She's white in America. She's white in America. She had nothing to offer in this conversation. And look at this moment. They didn't have to do it like that, but CNN was like, "Oh, gone too far. Don, gone too far." And Don knows what's up. No,
that's what it was, y'all. That's what it was. Because Tucker was in all that trouble at Fox with that big ass lawsuit. So when Don said what he said, we don't want any of that. We don't want any of those issues. So let's go ahead and fire Don and get him out of here with Tucker. Let's do it on the same day for ratings.
I think they thought we would care as much about Don Lemon getting fired. Now, listen, no offense to the brother. I like Don Lemon plenty enough. But maybe he's had like 2 occasions that I'm like, that's a great clip. I really like that clip. Otherwise, I rarely even watch Don Lemon or even care to watch him. Some of my favorite segments, this segment that he got fired for, ostensibly, is one of my favorite segments. The other one is when he had Trinidad James on there with Mark Lamont Hill talking about the N-word. That by far is my favorite segment. And that actually had nothing to do with Don Lemon. He just hosted it.
It was when he had Angela on there.
Angela Rye, yes. Yes.
And the woman and the guy that was on the side that wanted to smirk but couldn't because he was on the right leaning side. And then it was him. And they said
Denard Paris or something like that.
Yeah, and they said something about Omarosa being kicked out or whatever the case may be. And they chuckled and they chuckled and they chuckled and they chuckled. It's been a conversation. I think it was that was the conversation. It was something about that, but it made them laugh. But now Don Lemon, Don Lemon doesn't give a damn. He was spotted on the red carpet and he told the people, you guys are more worried about it than I am.
Now going on vacation.
Now Tucker Carlson, on the other hand, who was fired on the same day as Don Lemon,
Yeah.
We didn't know exactly what the firing was about. We didn't know. So it was just that he was fired, right? And there was silence. We all had our ideas about how the star of Fox News, when we think of Fox News in this particular moment, we think Tucker Carlson. We think Tucker Carlson. I don't care what anybody says. You just think of Tucker Carlson spreading misinformation, especially for the last 3 years, right? He's gotten bigger. He's grown. They fed the monster, gotten bigger, and this is where they're at with it now. Tucker Carlson actually came out after a few days, and I'll get to what Fox says was the issue, but Tucker Carlson actually came out after a few days to his social media because he didn't want to. He broke his silence and he took to his favorite place, and that's Twitter. Let's hear what he had to say about his firing.
Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, actually no war. Demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. Legitimate debate.
Get him out of here! Get him out of here! Get him out of here!
It's been a long time.
Put him on B-roll.
Media.
Put him on B-roll and mute him.
Even YouTube was like, get this AI robotic. No. Okay, so without the show, there's nothing because this is giving nothing. This is giving nothing. They fired him. He knows not what to do. Where it's really bad. Are these the monologues? Because this ain't giving. Where is it?
He's missing his writers.
Without the OTS,
exactly.
The shoulder, it's not giving a thing. There's nothing there.
And why does his microphone sound like like he's in a basement somewhere?
Why like he's in a cabin in the woods?
That's he used to do one of his shows. They gave him like a second show or something, and he was at home or something. I thought it was the studio, but then they were like, no, that's his house. I'm like, oh, okay. It gives me like, real conservative vibes. It's the way it was looking.
See, that's the way he's trying to come off, right? But at the end of the day, he's just this rich white prep boy who's an heir to a fortune from some rich family lineage, cosmopolitan, New York, Manhattan, but he wants to come off like he's this really concerned, average white guy. Nah, man, y'all got played by this white supremacist dressed up in a nice Brooks Brothers suit.
It got really nasty over at Fox with Tucker Carlson, but it was working in their favor during the pandemic. A lot of these people that we've seen who were hot during the pandemic and all this other stuff helped these platforms grow. We're coming into a phase now where people actually want something, like even if it's going to be right-wing news, they want some authenticity. And Tucker Carlson doesn't thrive off that. It's just talking points that he feels. And now people are like, okay, the world is getting a little bit like people starting to check us. So how we gonna fight back without having like real stuff that is it ain't lies? Because we can't go off with Tucker Carlson no more. So after this, at the end of that long soliloquy,
that he said nothing.
Soliloquy.
Come on now.
Soliloquy.
You're talking my language. Come on now.
Okay, but after he went off that long,
she knew I was gonna smile on that one.
Right.
He said at the end of it, basically, that they'd see him. Everybody will see him again. Like that's how he signed off. But we don't know when or we don't know where. So really according to NBC, Carlson and Fox parted ways less than a week after the parent company Fox Fox Corporation settled a defamation lawsuit for $787.5 million
Almost $1 billion.
In which Carlson played the starring role. The New York Times reported on Wednesday that a tipping point for Fox executives may have been private messages containing what the paper called highly offensive and crude remarks by Carlson. The Wall Street Journal reported that Carlson called a senior executive the C word.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought I was going with an N there, but it said the C word.
So the T, it is the N with a T?
Yes,
there's an N in there. So it has to be that because
can I buy a vowel, please?
Whites love that word.
They do. You freaking.
Dominion voting system said in its lawsuit that Carlson allowed debunked election fraud claims. Here we go. Here's what I'm talking about right here. This part is what I'm talking about. People don't want in their lives anymore because it's problematic, it's expensive, it's costly. And Dominion vote, it's costing people their lives too. Because come out in the streets and you give me misinformation, you're gonna get knocked.
Come on, sister.
Your stuff is gonna get rocked.
It's on site.
It's on site, baby. But the Dominion voting system said in its lawsuit that Carlson allowed debunked election fraud claims about the voting technology firm to air on his show while casting doubts on the plausibility of those claims in some of the private messages. Carlson is also key to additional legal battles facing Fox, including a lawsuit filed by his former head of booking, Abby Grossberg, who said Fox coerced her. Testimony in the Dominion case. Grossberg last month accused network lawyers of pressuring her to provide misleading testimony and said Fox exposed her and others to rampant sexism and misogyny. Shocked? Not at all. Fox fired her, saying her legal claims were riddled with false allegations against Fox and our employees. And that's just a little bit of what happened. And here we are. I think there's more to stick on Tucker Carlson's firing than there is on Don.
For sure.
Most definitely.
All day long. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
It's years on Tuckums. Don might have just been there one time, but it's years on
Don
Tuckums.
has done crazy stuff on. Look, Don Lemon has power at CNN. So for him to get fired, yeah, Don challenged somebody, woke up the next morning and thought nobody was about to. Here it is. Here we're going. We go back to Benjamin's story. We're talking about Benjamin on the show, not Benjamin Crump. We go back to Ben's story when he was talking about the woman and Ron DeSantis. So the superintendent, the Florida superintendent and Ron DeSantis. When you challenge them, you could be in this place of power, in this position of leadership. When you challenge them, especially as a person of color, they will circle the block. Try to put fear in you, but try to make you seem like you were wrong, make you apologize. And if you challenge them back and say I wasn't wrong, right? And I think that Don handled himself and showed great representation of a Black man in this space. Especially in that moment with another man who's a minority, and made sure he ended it, although he is opposition. Made sure he showed us a healthy debate, ended it on camera in a respectful manner, and moved forward with the next thing. And if that is the case, that CNN felt threatened because the backing probably of Vivek is so large and so great, and how these media companies, especially mainstream media, when I say so large and so great, I mean it could be literally like what but you know what the right to money looks like. Quiet folks with mad money who put somebody in the forefront. We saw what they did with Herschel Walker. But literally, we know that in these moments, like, he could have ended it and it could have been this whole thing, but Don knew the importance of that moment and ended it how he did. A healthy debate, but made sure that you're not going to come on this platform that I'm sitting on, speak misinformation, especially about Black folks and even about your people. Like, we're going to have to make sure, and that doesn't make it a right thing or a left thing. There's the truth here. There is something that's actual and factual, and we should focus on that. And if that is what CNN fired Don for, that's ridiculous. But honey, Tucker, baby, the list is long. The proof is right there. Ben said if they got pudding on their hands, he was talking about Tucker. Okay. Oh, look at Jeremiah in the background.
Oh, is that, buddy? I'm on air, buddy. Come on.
My God, he got so big.
He did. I just remember him in. I always say this. I just remember him in the carriage. Like it was just nothing but head.
it's still that.
Jeremiah, we see you.
But everybody around, the people watching, they see you just waving, going back.
So handsome. Hey, Jeremiah.
Okay, go ahead, Rebecca. Pretend like he's not there.
He like, I'm trying to get some cereal, Daddy. Leave me alone.
Daddy, I'm hungry. It's
Daddy, I'm hungry.
I done fixed the breakfast. They had breakfast ready at 7 o'clock. So
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But that's pretty much where I'm at with it. That's with the firing of both. I think that. And then they said that they attained the same lawyer. Of course, that's rumors, but we'll see as this starts to unfold. I do see Don Lemon being unbothered with his partner out in the world and actually enjoying life. Maybe he needed this break. And what I also say is that they wanted to really remove him before what the pension kicked in. He was at 17 years, and so what he had to be 20.
Well, I didn't know if they offered them that type of pension there, but you would think 20 years, yeah.
I don't know, but he was there for a long time. I mean, when he first came, he was a young little thing. I remember because he came with fine behind TJ Holmes. TJ Holmes, who was on ABC in the scandal with Amy Robach or Robach.
Oh yes,
they trying to get rid of him
over there.
Yeah.
But TJ was a fine. And he came in with Don. I said, two handsome black brothers. And one handsome black brother said, no to y'all people. I'm a part of a certain community. Yeah, baby. Yeah. I said, okay, Don, you still fine, but you're out of the line. Let's see. TJ was gone before I could think. They kicked TJ off. And then you know who was there too? Roland. They were all black. Yeah. That's when it was really black on there. Yeah, and then they fired Roland. They fired the Hispanic man. They fired TJ Holmes.
Oh, geez, you remember
Sanchez.
All of them. What was that? Rick Sanchez from South Florida.
Damn.
Yes, exactly.
Channel 7 News down in South Florida.
Okay, Rick, they all of them. They fired them, and then boom, we got Don Lemon, which I was happy about. At least they kept one person, but yeah. They were trying to do the diversity and inclusion thing. It was too much at that time. I was a young thing. I was in college. I was an undergrad, and man, what a time to be alive. You had to be there to see it. That's when CNN had some stuff because Sanchez was not playing with nobody.
Sanchez used to come hard.
Okay. Roland wasn't playing with anyone.
Yeah.
And TJ was just fine. What a time to be alive, guys. But speaking of people who
I have no comment. James, what did you think? You think
because I got fine as hell. Okay. I was mad to put that man out there. I'm like, damn, why y'all took my man out there like that? It's funny because
he went over to ABC to cause drama. He went over to ABC, picked up a great opportunity because we didn't see him for a while. He went local, and then he went over to ABC. We're talking national. We're talking everybody's television. We're talking about online. And now TJ Holmes is in a scandal of his own. Scandal of his own with who? White woman. A white woman who went and got herself counsel after saying, I love that man. Oh, when she saw her job and opportunities at risk, she said, I don't know. I don't know that man.
Oh, man.
I don't know that man.
Drewski?
Look. Sis was getting that ass tapped on camera, and I ain't talking about sex. Literally, he was smacking, grabbing, kissing, enjoying, being in the middle of a restaurant, a bar, kissing in public.
Oh yeah, okay? Like he had no shame.
There was no issue. But as soon as jobs were on the line, Amy said, "Excuse me." At first, she was like, love. We love each other. Okay, we are we are black and we're white, but there's no color should not separate us. Him being married, he's going through a divorce. He's separated. But our love can't separate. And as soon as they said, "Ma'am, your job is on the line. So is it the black man or this job?" She said, "I don't know that black man." Who is that?
Get somebody else to do it.
Get someone else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Get someone else to do it.
Good Lord.
And
they handled that so rudely, though. That was so messed up. I hated all of that.
Was like,
they had shame.
We were all in their business. Yeah. We were investigators. We were doing all that because that's what happens. But they were all. Yeah. There's a side of lovers who say you might meet your soulmate and it's the wrong time and you guys can now be together. So they thought that they were going to be able to do that. And we thought ABC was actually going to allow them to continue on co-hosting a show together after the drama that they put in this world and to promote love at any cost, right? Okay, fine. When they
But
said,
yet, wait a minute. But now y'all gonna put goddamn what's the Kelly and her husband on the show together. Because
Kelly.
Ryan
Kelly
Seacrest
Ripa?
left. Not Good
Oh.
Morning America, but
Yeah,
live
yeah,
with
Kelly
live with
Ripa.
Regis and Kelly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kelly Ripa. Yep. So her husband now is taking over since Ryan Seacrest left the show. So y'all let that couple be together, but y'all don't want because of the messiness and the drunk. Okay, cool.
Well, TJ was married.
Well, they was on the way to being divorced. We don't know what was all in they. They could have been,
But
before
Amy
you
said-
can get
somebody
divorced,
said it-
you have to be
somebody said it
separated
best.
legally for
But
a
it's messy.
year
Oh,
before you
Well,
can
I
get
mean, I'm just
divorced.
saying, like, if the only difference would be like ABC would have been treading in some new territory to let a man and his mistress host the morning show. That's all.
Mistress.
That would have been that's next level.
But see, then it has to be the scene change, because then if they're separated for a year, technically it's not his mistress because they're not
were
together.
Allegedly.
They said allegedly were separated.
But they were separated. Here's the facts of the matter, right? Here's what it is. They met each other's families. Like, they've only been co-hosts not that long. Met each other's families.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
So he was around the husband, all of that stuff, and then now it got a little bit more messier. Information was being involved, and then ABC also wants to make sure that they cover their behinds, because what if one day Amy says that when the environment was toxic for her because of TJ, or vice versa? They want to make sure they save themselves there. So somebody said in the comment section that she left the black for the green, and that's what we're in it right there. And for those who left,
Sometimes it is what it is.
Okay, there were two people who left Earth. Somebody didn't gain heavenly wings.
Preached.
Harry said, "Let me go ahead and prepare a seat at the table for you."
Okay,
and that's not the table that she thought she was gonna sit at.
Who is she? She is the Carolyn Bryan, but we'll get there. Harry Belafonte. I really, y'all, I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't know he was still. But yet and still, God is good, and He gives those who are good a great long life to live. And He blesses those who, and He also calls those home too as well. Who He wants to call home and make sure there's a seat prepared at the table, like you said, Bubba. Now, Harry Belafonte, he died at 96 years old, right?
96. Yep.
And he was like a barrier breaking singer. I love how the New York Times reported this in 1950s, when segregation was still widespread. His ascent to the upper echelon of show business was historic, but his primary focus was civil rights. Wow, I'm just looking at him and his Harry Belafonte, who stormed up the pop charts and smashed racial barriers in the 1950s with his highly personal brand of folk music, and who went on to become a dynamic force in the civil rights movement, died on this past Tuesday, at his home in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. The cause was congestive heart failure. And at the time when segregation was still widespread and Black faces were still a rarity on screens, large and small. Mr. Belafonte's ascent, again, was very historic. He was not the first Black entertainer to transcend racial boundaries. We had Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, and others who had stardom before him, but none had made, I would say, such a splash as he did. For a while, no one in music. It was him. He was just huge. He was born in Harlem to West Indian immigrants. He still has like a really that Caribbean accent was on his tongue. So he did a lot with music. If you remember, Dale.
Yeah.
Dale. Daylight come and me one go home.
And he also did Jamaica Farewell, and this was on his album Calypso. Now they included those songs, but me as a Haitian person, I remember Haiti Chérie, which he chose to speak Creole in these songs and pay homage to Haiti. his love for the Caribbean was amazing, and the way that he made sure to cover all of these issues and to fight for rights, especially as a product of Caribbean immigrants, and to include the whole Caribbean was so beautiful, especially the Black countries in the Caribbean. It was so beautiful, and he made sure he pushed those boundaries through his music. Like we mentioned Ella Fitzgerald, and I think about people who were attacked multiple times for covering these things in their music, including the FBI and all of this, to attack them for singing songs about rights and social injustice. And actually covering the beauty of the places that they wanted you to see as ugly. He did that. Absolutely. So Harry Belafonte, 96 years old, died.
Yeah.
That's a great life.
Tuesday.
Yeah, and like looking at some of the tributes that a lot of people have done for him, like hearing some of the stuff that he's done, some of the pictures, like he used to babysit Martin Luther King Jr.'s kids. You know, even seeing Andrew Young was on talking about him on the local news, and when he started talking about him, he started crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, that broke me down. I'm like, oh man, that's amazing. But Harry, I never realized how much Harry Belafonte did for during the civil rights movement. Like he played a huge part with it, and never knew that.
Yeah.
But I also say Rebecca, I feel Rebecca same way too. As she said, she thought he was already. Look, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. I thought George Foreman was dead already. He's still alive. He alive and kicking. When I saw the documentary come out, I'm just like, oh, okay, good. It's about time they did something for George Foreman. And then like earlier this week, I had a chance to sit down and interview George Foreman. I'm like, ooh.
He's still alive. He's still good and alive. But you know who's also
like
dead?
Good and alive and strong and kicking
but
too.
You know
like
who's also dead?
In good news.
And other great news today.
Wow, that's crazy. And who passed? And I don't like to speak on people's death, and y'all know this. I don't know if there's a seat at the table with my good Lord and Savior. She got to live.
We didn't
her
get
life.
justice here.
Okay, right.
So.
And we're talking about justice with Carolyn Bryant Donham, the white woman whose accusation led to the 1955 lynching of Black teen Emmett Till in Mississippi, and whose role in the brutal death was reconsidered by a grand jury as recently as last year, has died too late. Anyways, has died in Louisiana, the Calacasco parish, and so she died at 88. She died Tuesday, same day as Harry Belafonte, and she died in a home. She had her family and all these other people. But Malik Shabazz, the Black Lawyers for Justice, said in a statement Thursday that Donham's legacy will be one of dishonesty and injustice. Carolyn Bryant's death brings a conclusion to a painful chapter for the Emmett Till family and for Black people in America. The tragic part about Bryant's death was that she never was held accountable for her role in the death of Emmett Till, who is the martyr for the civil rights movement. So we know in August 1955, if people who don't know, 14-year-old Emmett Till, a Black young boy, was beaten and shot to death after he allegedly whistled at Bryant, now Donham, in Money, what would I say, Mississippi? And so yeah,
I got nothing good to say about her. And Mama said, if you got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
Don't say nothing at all.
But I will say, since we didn't get justice in this life, we know it. There's gonna be justice afterwards, so we'll just leave it at that. You know, America has a way. America has a way of letting people get away with murder so long that you just can't even hold them accountable.
So much has come. So much in the time has come across, you know, as evidence and statements. And I remember we covered a story here where they found the order to have her arrested, and they hid it. It was in plain sight. All they had to do was walk into that where they kept the record keeping place and walk in there. And there it was. And somebody just left it there. And nobody chose to do the investigation portion of it. And we know back in the day, it was very easy for the criminals and crooks to side with their local police department and lawyers and judges and side with them and go free. Nothing,
right.
nobody will bother them. Nothing will happen to them. All because your wife cooked a pot roast that was undercooked for the family, and boom, now you are covered. We lost a 14-year-old boy in 1955.
She got to live her life.
His mother was out of town. Her struggle in having the baby and them telling them that her baby would be some kind of way, that baby was already a miracle. And that white woman, I got something to say, but I ain't gonna say it. But what I'm gonna say is,
who else were we just talking about getting in trouble with a? Anyway, this is a
gonna
good place for me to. This is a good place for me to get off air.
Ben, I was going there, but I didn't go there. I said we're not. There's a couple of things we got to see about, but it's giving. Stop messing.
Hey, Glory.
I'll just go to TJ Holmes and that's it. They literally, it's gonna be their word against yours. I'm not saying this is every white woman. So for the white women that are watching our show, I'm not saying it's all of y'all, but you know your power though. You know once you flip the script, it will literally be your word against everybody else's, and that's how I'm gonna put it at.
Literally, yeah. And before we do get off this topic, then Jerry Springer also passed away as well too. I ain't gonna say I grew up watching Jerry Springer, but college, right? Being Jerry, it's the best TV show to watch. The first reality TV, that in Real World,
man. The original Real World, man. Jerry Springer was
Real
wild. He made so much money off of black folks being crazy on his show, but I mean, a lot of people loved him. Got no feelings about him. See you later, dude.
Yeah, no, it's real. Jerry, I believe, was dealing with some long-term health issues. I think it was cancer. I'm not too sure, but I know that he did pass, and we did. Now, Jerry was. I would say in the beginning, now looking back on it, he was part of the culture of white men who had microphones. That was white men with microphones back in the day, who had black folks on their shows looking crazy, but crackheads was on there too. It was a lot of people on the show.
We do have one really good clip from Jerry Springer I think.
Yes, but I think that the way we will end him, because we got nothing good for Carolyn.
Warms my spirit.
We got nothing good for Carolyn. We see Harry Belafonte and his amazing being. Again, nothing good for Harry Belafonte. Excuse me. Everything good for Harry Belafonte. Nothing good for Carolyn Bryant. But also how we will see Jerry Springer.
The rest.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Let's take a look.
Warms my heart, Jerry. Warms my heart. All that good setup, but we ain't got. There it is. Yes. White on white violence.
I love to see it.
Now where's Jerry in there?
Back there collecting his check.
With the chair.
Counting his money.
Damn, Mike. They was fighting worse than any black people in flight fought on here.
Yes.
And it's a master producer too. The producer, he ain't never come out.
That's good television right there. The only mask they'll put on.
Like, where was Jerry at though?
Probably. You know what? I will give him a good old rest in peace, Jerry Springer, just for that clip, man.
Why? Because Jerry wasn't fighting in it. He was collecting the check.
Because he gave us this memento that we can play forever throughout eternity.
Forever.
So Klansmen
background about this clip. Give us the background about this clip.
Oh, I don't know anything about it except for Klansmen got their head beat in. So God bless America.
So who was beating them in though? Was it another white racist group or was it just white people?
It looked like it.
could have been competing racist factions. It could have been, so it was a great clip of white on white violence, but it could have been some anti-racist white boys that are like tired of the Klan too. So if that was what it was, shout out to them anti-racist white boys. But you never know. All I know is that we just get to see Klansmen in their robes getting their heads.
I got it. A notorious 1997 episode titled "Clanfrontation" saw Mr. Springer moderate a conversation on race and religion. His guests, members of the Ku Klux Klan and the Jewish Defense League.
Come on.
Unsurprisingly, there was a little overlap between the two groups. And one KKK member mockingly revealed a Jewish kippah beneath his hood to JDL chairman Irv Rubin. The faux debate quickly erupted into an all-out brawl, and both Mr. Springer's security and members of the crowd also getting involved. It was one of a handful of times the show probed, albeit without much tact, uncomfortable topics like white supremacy and racism.
Clanfrontation.
Yeah. So it was religion.
And trans people dating straight people. I need to come on and tell you something. I'm really a man. Like, oh my God. Ben doesn't remember. I know Ben doesn't remember, but there was somebody from Cookman on the show before.
Oh no. I vaguely, but that was that the sad story?
Was it? I don't think it was the sad one. It was probably one of the ones who dressed up like a woman, and the man didn't know. Yeah, y'all got to understand. Back then, between 98 and 2000, 2001, it was crazy. Some crazy ass times.
Well, I just want to remember. I want to remember Jerry Springer as the man who gave us the Clanfrontation episode. Thank you, Jerry, for that.
Yeah. Between him and Maury Povich, it's just like I don't know who was worse. Mari's gonna always be baby
Maury. I think Maury got to be worse.
You are not the father.
Y'all want to go Maury and Jerry Springer and these people, Montel Jordan. If we know black representation in that space, Montel Jordan used to cross his legs.
Montel
Bald headed. He used to cross his legs, real nice and tight. He was married to the Asian woman. I don't know if he's still married to her. She was a journalist, or was that Maury? One of the M's, but. Montel used to cross his legs nice and tight and sit there. And once he did like this and said, so do you think that you have an issue with drugs? If you get into a room right now, do you think you're going to go raid the cabinets of your family members? You know you would. You would. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are struggling like she is, it'd be like, oh my God. But he was not playing in the way that he would talk to you. I liked it. He had that black man's voice and things of that sort. Where did Ben go?
He was fine. He was fine, man. Ben had to go. Ben said, I got to go drop me. He tried to tell you.
Okay. And last but not least, sorry, Ben, Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones, Sally. It was all these people that we used to watch. There were toxic moments in those times. I'm not going to lie, but we do not have the time to talk about it. But those are what we were brought up on. Let's not forget Queen Latifah for 5 minutes. Queen Latifah had her show for 5 minutes. Yes.
I forgot all about that.
So we're at the end of the show, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Who?
What's the white man? What wore the glasses? White man wore glasses with the white hair. What was his name? Because I remember Geraldo's show. Geraldo had a show.
Geraldo, yes.
Yeah. It was
Geraldo Rivera.
Geraldo Rivera. What was that man's name?
Rivera. Oh, I don't remember the other guy's name.
Yeah.
But
you irk my soul now.
But listen, everybody, all these people were included into our
Phil Donahue. I'm sorry.
Phil Donahue. All about
Phil Donahue.
Dr. Phil, because Dr. Phil was he came later. He was always
he came later. Yeah, Phil Donahue. Thank y'all.
But yeah, we're at the end of the show. You guys, listen. Thank you guys for rocking with us. I think Saturday morning should be our thing. I like the vibes, and on one Saturday morning, I like the vibes. I like the vibes. I think that we have a little bit more excitement. I think our skin looks so much better too.
Yeah.
And I'll say at the same time, y'all, if y'all rocking with us and you are not a patron, please head over to patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. I would love if everybody who's watching right now, all of you guys, if you can, there are 3 of us on the show. If you can, please. Send $1. Look, we sound like kids. It's send $1 or $5, right? It is rent. We need it. We need to make sure we keep these programs running. All right.
Yeah.
I make sure I pay for these programs out of pocket. So please, guys, with your help, with you being a patron, I'm not talking about going on to the YouTube space and the super chats. We don't get those. So please, if you can, hit us up. Cash App. That's Becca's Voice. Cash App, Becca's Voice. And Ben is BPD. Do you remember?
2018. Yeah.
Thank you.
BPD 2018.
And there's DJ X3C. That's all on Cash App. Listen, that's Becca's Voice. That's BPD 2018 and DJ X3C. All separate on Cash App. We would love your donations. We got a long week ahead of us, and we're trying to make sure we get as a whole year, because it's getting a little tight right now. And so much is going on. I know you're going into surgery. I got a lot happening that I don't want to speak about on air, but there's a lot happening, guys. And I want you guys to please, if you can, contribute, keep us going, keep these programs paid for, keep us being able to get on here and talk to you guys when we can. I love you guys so much.
And before we get out of here, real quick, shout out, Roller Dragon's birthday is tomorrow, but the Queen's birthday, my mommy's birthday is on Monday, May 1st. So happy birthday, Roller, and happy birthday, Mama.
Happy birthday to the Taurus Nation. Taurus Nation. Listen, if y'all want to do early birthday gifts for me, because I thought Bubba was gonna say the Queen was me, but no, Mama Gwen is the Queen. But me, my birthday is on May 15th. May 15th. I sent you an invite to a little show. And you never.
Y'all goddamn. I forgot the RSVP because y'all May people. It's like my mama, my dad, my best friend, you, and then there's somebody else this month too that I didn't put on my calendar.
So yeah, put me on your calendar and go RSVP.
I know, because I got to make sure I'm there. I got to be there. Yeah. I'll be there. Discount me. I'll be there.
And so with that being said, you guys, please, if you would love to send early gift money, that also at Becca's Voice on Cash App. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I see that you guys were enjoying the show today. We were giving that morning energy as usual. So maybe next Saturday you can find us again. We'll give you a rundown of our favorite topics and of the week.
At 10 o'clock.
9:30.
Okay. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in on this Saturday morning. We love y'all. Mean it. And before we get out of here, let me give you your affirmation for the week, month. I don't know where we at. Hey, I am imperfect, and that's okay. I am imperfect, and that's okay. Because, bitch, you ain't perfect either. Stop it. Love y'all, mean it. Again, make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the stream, man. Also, if you have not become a Patreon member yet, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/like it or not. We will see y'all next week. Deuces. Love y'all, mean it. Bye.
I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal.
And you got to bring me back on, Josh. But shout out to Joshua Nixon in the background producing. We appreciate you, Josh. Thank you. Love you, brother Josh. And shout out to Latif. Love y'all, man. Appreciate it.
Let's start this damn show. It's time for like it or not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.